Hello, hey guys. So I'm trying something new. I'm going to call these new videos Point Being. We'll see how they go. Basically, it's slightly different from the news I normally bring you because it's going to be mostly pre-written rants about something that makes me furious, a news story, breaking news story that makes me furious. We'll see. We'll see if you like them, and we'll see how it goes. They'll have a little more comedy probably than the normal newscasts I do on here. So slightly different than Moment of Clarity, but yeah, hopefully you enjoy them. So let's give it a try. This one is on a news story that just came out a few weeks ago. The government in England has ordered schools not to use resources and materials from organizations that have expressed any desire to end capitalism. In very similar news, the U.S. government has ordered people on fire not to use water. Look, I know this world's crazy, okay? I get it. I know things are getting out of hand. It takes a lot to surprise me these days. The other day, I saw a stripper peel off every stitch of clothing except her face mask. And I thought that seemed normal. Then her vagina sneezed and we all ran out of the building screaming. Now, I, of course, made that story up, but for those of you thinking it's sexist, I believe adults have a right to choose their own careers, and if an adult woman wants to be a fucking stripper, then that is her choice, and I don't think it's fair for you to take agency away from her by saying you find mentioning her career offensive. But maybe you're thinking, I have no problem with her being a stripper. I find it offensive that you said the word vagina. Saying so is very anti-vagina. No, it's not. Saying the word vagina is very pro-vagina. You think pretending they don't exist is somehow supportive of their existence? And if you're unable to say or think the word vagina, then I think you're the one with the problem. Plus, that joke couldn't have been anti-woman because the stripper was a man. So, ha. It was a man with a vagina because that's what he chose to have. And yes, he chooses to go by he, and that is his choice. Why are you stereotyping women and stereotyping strippers and stereotyping vaginas? You make me sick. Point being, it takes a lot to shock me these days, and yet the government in England is forbidding anti-capitalism teachings? That's fucking insane. Capitalism, whether you love it or hate it, is an economic system. It's not a goddamn religion. The goal of an economic system is supposedly to allow a society to function efficiently and effectively. Does capitalism do that? First of all, no. I mean, just look at the table you're probably sitting at right now, or the desk. You got it at Walmart, right? The wood was cut down somewhere in Vancouver. It was then sent across an ocean to somewhere like China or Bangladesh or some shit. They cut it up into nice little table pieces. It's then shipped back across the Pacific fucking Ocean to be put together by underpaid employees at some factory in the U.S. Let's say you then live on the East Coast of the U.S., so the table is shipped across the entire continent to be on the shelves at Walmart for you to buy. It's then meant intentionally to fall apart in 6 months or a year so that you can throw it out and buy a new fuck-all table. Let's say you don't buy the table. Let's say no one does. No one likes it. It just sits up on the shelves at Walmart. Well, sometimes it'll get shipped across the country, back across the country to the factory to hold on to. Sometimes it just gets thrown out or burned. Amazon burns or destroys millions of products every year because they don't want a guy in Mozambique to get a TV for too cheap because that might hurt the brand integrity. No brand actually has integrity, but that's another story. Point being, that single table has gone all over the fucking world like it's a professional tennis player or some shit, just so you can buy it for $40. The amount of fuel used and emissions and deforestation is bananas. It's not efficient. It's not easy. It's not cheap. It's bananas. So point one about capitalism allowing for efficiency is utter nonsense. Secondly, even if you said capitalism, it might not be efficient, but it's the best thing since sliced bread. Even if you believe that. By the way, why is sliced bread the best thing? That's the expression, right? Best thing since sliced bread. Sliced bread doesn't even save you that much time. How hard is it to slice a dumb piece of bread? I mean, if we're just talking about pure convenience, then like a single serving of flan in a cup at the grocery store is way more convenient than slicing a bread. A pre-made flan saves you an hour of baking of fucking flan. Sliced bread saves you like 30 seconds. Not to mention, I'm not baking no flan. I don't even know how. So a little pre-made flan is actually like on level with like a superpower for me. I can't make flan. So it's way better than sliced bread. I can slice bread. If I got to choose the expression, instead of the best thing since sliced bread, I'd say the best thing since condoms. Because without them, very bad things. Point being, even if you think capitalism is the best thing since condoms, it's pretty hard to deny it's now killing us. We spend, produce, consume, emit, devour, diddle, and destroy at a breakneck speed. The whole system is set up to endlessly consume until it collapses, which it is doing. We're knocking down the entire Amazon. Climate change is ravaging the planet. The oceans are filled with plastics. Maybe the condoms weren't such a good idea after all. And the biodiversity is crashing. So even if you are just so in love with capitalism, it doesn't matter. If we don't evolve past it and fast, we are wildly screwed. So, point being, government of England, go fuck yourselves. You don't get to tell us not to educate people on how screwed we really are. You don't get to tell everyone to avoid finding solutions. You don't get to tell everyone to simply just die, just shut up and die. Because that's what you're really saying when you ban people from learning the truth about capitalism. See what I did there with crap? Put it right in there. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this first episode of Point Being. You can get my stuff every day at leecamp.com. Keep fighting.